second question is, you want to know how I respond to that? I have responded to that person by lying to him. I've responded by disappointing him. I've responded by hurting other people that he's created. I've responded by putting his name down and to the side. I've responded to him by giving my love song at times in my life to other things. That's how I've responded to that person. And I don't know about you, but you could probably look at times in your life and you could see, you know what, I've done the same thing. I know who God is and I haven't responded probably the way that he deserves. But you know how he responded to me? He responded to me by loving me so much, sending his son, Christ, to die on the cross to forgive me of all those things and lift me up and make me do it again. And he did the same thing with me. And I look at that. I look at who he is. And I look at how I have responded to him. And I look at how he's responded to that. And I am amazed and in awe of what he has done for me. And you are too, if you understand it. And I look at that and I say, oh God, here you are, here I am. Here's what you've done for me. Why? And I am in awe. And I think, God, what? Why would you do that for me? Why would you love me in that way? And so how do I respond to that? The only thing I can do in response to that is just to say, God, here's my life. Take it. Here you go. Here's all of me. I don't deserve it. I don't understand. But here I am. You've got me. Here I am. Now I think as I describe that, many of you in this room probably understand that. And you probably experienced that same thing. And what I want you to understand is that natural response to what he's done for you, that is a great definition of what worship is. Is that response of God, and here I am. Here's all of me. And I tell you, for me, sometimes that kind of response, it looks like this. Sometimes it looks like this, and I'll just get down. I'll be like, oh God. And I'll just think about him. Sometimes that response is singing out a song to him. Sometimes that response is lifting up my hands like this, like my little kids do to me whenever they want me really bad. It's just saying, God. Sometimes my response is just to sit there and cry. Sometimes my response is to, God, is there something I can do for you that would bless your heart? And then I try to follow through with it. That's a great way to think of what worship is. It's so much more than just 20 minutes of singing music. It's so much more than that. Look at Hebrews chapter 12, verse 28. It says, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire. That scripture was what it's saying right there, is because of what we are receiving and what we have done, our only response is to worship him, sing a love song to him, and awe to that. When you understand what God has done for you, worship becomes incredible. It becomes amazing. It says, for our God is a consuming fire. Think of Moses when he saw the burning bush, and he saw it, and it didn't burn up. He heard the voice of God. What was the first thing he did? I'm standing on holy ground. I am not worthy to be here. I've got to be down. I've got to be loved. It was the most natural response. Yeah, that's exactly what it has to be. It used to be with us. Well, how do I do that, Andrew? How do I respond? How do I worship? You just naturally respond to his supernatural action. Naturally respond to his supernatural action. It's just like, whenever the Chiefs go in and score a touchdown, what happens? The crowd gets louder. Why? You couldn't hold them down. Why? Because they're happy and they just naturally respond. You do that. What happens whenever a baby is born and you see the parents that are so happy when the baby cries? What do? You smile. It's a natural response to something that's amazing. What do you do whenever your kid does something cool, or they come up and they tell you that they love you, and you can tell it's really sincere? What do? You just scoop them up and you hug them. What do you do when your husband or wife comes to you and and they give you a hug or they give you a kiss. There's just a natural response to that. That's what worship is with God. It's the natural response to His supernatural goodness for you. The last thing, in view of who God is and what He's done, here's what you got to do. I bring an offering, and I am the offering. Romans 12:1. Therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. You bring Him yourself, and you bring Him everything that you are. You sing a love song to Him. Would you guys bow your heads and bow your hearts? I want you to not look around.